In the Libuv project, have been discussing like V2 like periodically for years. Never got to a resolution on that. There were always blockers and stuff. So a couple of years ago, we were about to go for it. Never came to fruition. So 1 month ago, finally things to be clear. So probably we'll have a V2 sometime in the future. I hope. You never know. So, and that's the reason. Yeah, I want to showcase where are the new things that might be coming, and how kind of problems that obstacles that the Node.js players might encounter with that. So first, some key facts. Libuv has been on V1 for more than 11 years, I think. Okay, Libuv has been, version 1 of Libuv has been around for over 11 years now. First commit on master on 2016. So, okay. But what's coming in Libuv, probably less than you might think, though there are some breaking changes. Most of changes come from two different sources. The first one is that, as in Libuv, we have a strict policy to maintain an API and ABI compatibility. We have been accumulating a lot of craft and making lots of hacks in order to keep adding new features into it. And also, we have also removed some APIs that weren't working that well. So it was good for us going into this version, like to make a major cleanup of these public structs, so we can start in a clean slate in order to be able to add more features more easily. Just one important point: current status of what would be V2 that lives in master is that Julia Lang has been already using that master code and helping maintaining that for years. So we could release V2 basically today, and it would just work. Yeah. So I'm going to go through some of the important changes that are coming. We have compiled a list of all of them. Also, a compat table that we have generated comparing both APIs and ABIs, so you can see the differences. We'll share that later on the Slack, or maybe on the session issue. So two major things that are coming is that we have stopped using file descriptors in Windows, and we are already using Windows handles directly. So this means that UV file strat is gone, and in favor of UVOs FDT. Basically, what it means is that for Windows, we're using Windows handles, and for the others, we're using file descriptors. That's the thing. But that affects a lot of APIs, mainly in the file system side. Others are going away and stuff. There's a migration guide already implemented. We added a couple of functions, helper function that would allow people to migrate easily. So I don't think it's such a big issue. The other one would be the removal of file system poll. So yeah, that's a bit more controversial maybe. There was it was basically broken. Some cases weren't handling well, and trying to fix those we had to break the API. So cases like you were starting watching a directory, you wrote synchronously a file into the directory. The event wouldn't come up most of the time, and that's because of the design. The first stat call was done in the thread pool and never caught up. So basically, what we have done is, okay, we can implement basically the same functionality via Libuv natives like fsstat and timers. So you can do it on your own. In fact, Julia has already implemented that on top of that, and apparently it's working is working well for them. And the last thing, maybe for embedders, is that the UV header still is there, but we have like reorder how we store the internal headers into directories and stuff. Okay. Yeah, some other important changes. For example, error handling is stricter and more consistent across platforms. So one of the things that error codes in Libuv are considered part of the API. So the problem is we were receiving all the time like issues. Well, this error on Windows is not consistent with the same error in Linux and stuff like that. And that was correct, but we couldn't fix those in V1. So all those fixes are across the years have gone into master, so they'll be there. The year 2038, both related with timers. Yeah, it's fixed. It's fixed in master. So I mean, at least what we know is that probably before 2038 we'll have a new version, probably, because it's broken in V1. Okay, some other stuff like your timers no longer run before first entering the loop. This, I think, we did by caution, just to not break anybody, but I don't think it should be a V1 either. And some new features. They are not super groundbreaking, but these are the things that we have been accumulating that we weren't able to add by doing anything, any hacks or whatever in V1 while keeping all that compatibility. So some things in CPU you can spawn process with a set affinity. Added some extended file system time API, so you can, I think you can set now some of the fields like birth time and creation time, something that was not possible before. Yeah, better Windows process diagnostics. So we are able to enable error mode and make errors to go through the WER system. And some other stuff that I don't think it's, there are nice things to have, but nothing too groundbreaking. So, and now some things I wanted to bring up. A bit of feedback is not set. We don't know when we are going to release this. It seems that we are going to do it, but so I would love to hear from you now. You can open issues in the Libuv repo for that, but what pain points are you currently having with Libuv? What things do you think should be better? Same with new features, and especially the last one I think is more important is how we should align. Well, what should be the better timing for the two of us to Libuv and to be better for us in terms of the window to be as short as possible in terms of Node.js going through V2, but this while keeping V1 for LTS.
One thing that I have not seen in these slides and I've not seen in the discussion is how it impacts an API and ABI compatibility overall. I think I was not 100% sure, but like I again like ABI stability and how is it impacting the NAPI workflow, if at all? NAPI.
I don't. But what's the question? I don't follow.
Okay.
Are you worried about why ABI compatibility is important, or
no? So, okay, let me rephrase this. If an add-on, okay,
yeah.
So with when authoring a native add-on in Node,
yes.
Okay, you use this layer called an API to you're familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that same add-on would work on both will work across multiple versions of Node, okay? Because it's based on the ABI stability contract.
Yes.
On a certain. Now, is this going to impact any of that in some form or no? Like I have like
that's a good question.
That is more like ecosystem level practical, not too much on like I think this is, it might be that it doesn't, okay, but I have no like I know for certain, okay, that some part of an API allows you to interact with the thread pool, okay, of Libuv. So yeah, anyway, this is the question. I don't know if you put it.
Node API does provide a C API to get the UV loop, but Node API does provide a C API to access the UV loop, but the rest of the Node API, including the thread save function and the async work, they does not provide direct access to the UV loop. So they are still API safe, even if with the Libuv v2 change. So it will only impact add-ons directly access the Libuv API. Yeah.
Okay, do we have stats on the topic? Like again, I'm flagging because it has been stable for so long that people might think it's stable. Okay, and so this is.
We have a documentation node on the Node API get UV loop to say this API is not going to be ABI stable. So I don't have states right now, but yeah.
So in our API docs, we do call out that we ship the Libuv headers with the node headers. So it would be a Semver major if there are broken API changes in Libuv. So this will be, for node, it will be a breaking change.
Yeah, I understand that it's going to be a breaking change. The problem is we promote, okay, an API as a way to write add-ons that works across versions. So my overall question is, will we break the ecosystem by essentially breaking the contract of Libuv? Like, I don't know if there are native add-ons using Libuv with with an API together to do some stuff, and if so, how much we are going to break them? Okay, maybe I am causing too much. I don't know, worrying about too much of the thing, but it might be needed to do a little bit of CGIM exploration, I think, or something, to get to see what's the point. Maybe ask the team from the Node API thing. I don't know if they are connected.
I have another question. So what about the version 1 release line? Like, what's the support for the V1?
I was coming for that later. So
okay.
So this is something that was brought up to the TSC a couple of years ago, and I think we are now how many? Seven maintainers. So and we can basically what I can say, we can realistically maintain only one release line at a time, as we did. So we have decided this time, okay, let's bring, I mean, not only Node.js, there are some other major users of this, so helping to do that. It was, I mean, one thing that was proposed in the TSC, and was like, okay, do like what we do with V8. One goes out of maintainers, is maintained on tree, but I would rather prefer to keep it on the Libuv. There are a lot of consumers of that. So yeah, basically this is like letting you know, okay, we are going to, once this is released, we'll be the team as of now will be focused on that. Maybe some people are going to help with V1, but at least I would say what I would love to, even if people from other projects are contributing, like if we could keep it in the same repo, for me it's going to be good. We haven't been, at least the minimum for me would be like keeping security patches going. We haven't had that much in, I mean, I think we have only released one CVE ever. With that CVE, I don't know if it was something that you passed it to us, Mate or Rafa, I don't know, I can't remember. Sorry. Yeah, no. Yeah, the only CVE that we have released was something that came from Node.
Set UID.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And we released that CVE and stuff. We set up all these GitHub integration and then started the AI swarm or whatever. And we started receiving lots of them and all of them bogus. So we finally closed that out and we are just using the old mailing list and then it's 0 security patches from there. So that's good. Anyway, the thing is that we like to keep, I mean, what timing will be the best and to keep this overlap between those two lines as far as possible for us. Because I think I've been talking with Rafa, it would be like the best way, 2 years window.
Overlap. So we have to maintain. So the best time, according to the new release schedule, would be 2 years of maintenance of V1 on Node.js 24 and 26, and then it would be shipped on Node.js 27 if the release aligns and if there are no more work to do. The only thing, the CVE you mentioned, it was related to the set UID on IO-Uring, and that's why we dropped IO-Uring on Node.js. And I know that there is a question to bring that back.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. So, no, I just comment about the CVE.
Okay. So, I mean, that's all I have for here. I mean, I think, personally, I don't know about other maintainers. I ask my employer if I can spend some time on this. I will be able to do that, but I mean, I would love people to step in now, And that's it. I don't know if you have any questions or.
I have one.
Yeah.
That is. So at some point, it's the Libuv choice to some extent to say if the Libuv team choice to keep this up, okay, or not, and do the 2 year window. I think it might be that I don't know who if there are other consumers of Libuv 1 aside from Node. Okay.
Yes, a lot of them.
A lot of them, yes. So that maybe having an extended window over there would be good for the ecosystem. But looking at the number of CVEs and bugs we got in Libuv 1 in the last period of time, okay, I think roughly Node.js can take, if we need to take care of the copy that is on tree, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
Okay, if I am speaking for everybody, probably. Okay, but it would be, I think, better for the ecosystem if there is.
That's what.
If there is a bigger, if there is a shared effort. Okay, but I don't expect many security apart from the storm. Okay, which I don't know if we have talked too much about the storm, but apart from the storm of. Very nice thing floating into the inbox of everybody. Okay, it's nothing. It's okay. So I'm just.
I have a question. So, as I mentioned, the only CV we got was due to IO-Uring. However, IO-Uring is a good thing, and in the Libuv we saw 8 times of performance improvement on that feature. We have an open issue on Node.js to bring that back, but we don't know if we should. Is there any plans to solve that issue?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, the security issue was, okay, IO ring, the way we're using IO ring in Libuv is we're using a special feature that is called SQPol. What it does is, I don't know if you're familiar with it a bit, is with IO ring, is like, basically what you do in IO ring is you send requests to the kernel via ring buffer. Then the kernel picks those requests and in a way and performs those. Those requests corresponds usually to typical syscalls. The kernel would pick those up, would execute them, and then will print the results into a ring buffer where you can read it back into user space. The thing is that we are using SQPol because it was more performant in the sense what it did is spinning up a thread that would, you don't need to notify the kernel that you are sending requests. It's like a thread in the kernel is constantly watching for things in that ring buffer and pick it up. So that was very, very fast. But to be honest, I don't know the reason why. When using this feature, those permissions were leaked, and so there was a way to fix those in like communicating the ring every time you use. I don't know which is the THO. No, I can't remember which was the syscall that was changing the permissions.
Set UID.
Yeah, we could create wrapper. If it's Node that is setting set UID, we could use wrappers in Libuv that would communicate the kernel that capabilities have changed, and somehow it could work. But the thing is that that was the issue that made IO ring to go away. But there were other issues that were coming constantly at the time. People were complaining sometimes about performance and stuff. And it was because of this. I think we were talking with Robert in Slack.
Yes, Robert.
And it was because people were using this thread. If you have very few CPU power in your system, it's going to eat if you are sending requests all the time, it's going to be eating your CPU regardless. And that was an issue. And I mean, it was recommended to us by the Libuv ring implementers, like we cannot use this SQPol for a generic library like Node. But for some use cases, if you are sure that you have enough CPU power or your load matches what you have, yeah, we could enable that. But
yeah. One question. I might have missed it, and if I did, I apologize. What's your timeline for getting to finished or like ready to go?
I would like to tell you the timeline of Libuv. You say.
Like
there's no timeline now.
Well, yeah. When are you expecting to?
I would love to have it. I mean, but this is me talking, not the team or whatever. I would love to have it like before 27 is cut or something like that, if possible.
Okay. You're just asking because with the UDP PR with Quick, I'd like to be able to get those landed, but it's a significant enough change that I don't want to have to do it twice, right? 1x and 2. I know the comment there, it's like it'd be good to target it at 2. But right, I don't want to have to wait a year before we get some of those.
Yeah, and then you have to go through all the LTS,
Right. Yes.
I mean, looking at your PR, it's like it seems like in master it could do exactly what you have and rename UDP and replace it with yours. I don't know what's the work for you to like making all these extra data allocs in some reserved fields so you can get. That would be, the less controversial way to get it is the way it is. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
There is a question on the Zoom.
How does this work? Sorry, do I have to do something? This one?
Yeah.
Yes.
The question on the Zoom is, well, Libuv guaranteed the API stability if Libuv.
Yeah, for sure. For every release line, we aim to maintain both API and API compatibility. Yeah.
Any more questions?
It's good.